This film tells the story of a historic and proud neighborhood that was taken over by blight and crime after residents fled to the suburbs and businesses left the area. A courageous community has worked tirelessly to take their neighborhood back.
Obviously the neighborhood had its problems, you know, with like a lot of gangs and drugs and everything like that. But, you know, if you don't get sucked into it, it's actually a pretty nice area. I mean, it was great. It's made me the person I am today. Here at the bar, Henry Valencia, he did a lot of stuff for the, you know, bringing activities and, you know, bringing kids together here at the park. You know, gave kids a place to go that's kind of, you know, secluded from everything else that was going on. When we were young, we were in what's called the Garfield Youth Group. We did all kinds of things from, you know, we did plays, we went to trips, we did leadership, you know, trips. You know, we'd go to like Prescott for a couple weeks and just do all kinds of stuff like that. Camping, just, you know, just like I said, keep the kids active and interested and busy, and then they won't get sucked up in that kind of stuff.
In the truest sense of the word community park, this is the epitome of it, because this is what actually all your other parks are based on. When I first got here in 1973, I could count on one hand how many kids that were going to high school. And since then, we've always stressed the kids getting involved with their schools, staying involved in sports and everything, anything to keep them in school.
I feel comfortable here, and just being, I guess, one of the oldest. I don't know how I managed to stick around. I came to Phoenix in 1946, came here to teach at Carver High School. Housing was segregated, so for a while we lived with friends. And then the city built barracks for veterans, and it turned out we were the first black family to move north of Van Buren Street. What Kim and Dana have done, not only in terms of the neighborhood reaching out, they involve an annual exhibit of children's work, as well as open it to other kinds of activities, making this neighborhood one that has something that you look forward to, in terms of the arts.
Our engagement with the community has been a real interesting growth of the house, because artists expressing themselves are one thing, artists expressing the community angst and the community aspirations and engaging them into the community, that's where we really have found a chord of response from artists. One of the reasons why I started the Alwun House in 1971 was to create a place where artists could come together without a sense of, you're a poet, you can't speak my painter language, you're a painter but you can't sculpt. Getting rid of those barriers and realizing that we all have a creative voice, that we want to express ourselves, our place and our time. So Alwun House, all arts in one place, was kind of the concept behind starting the Alwun House. When we do things like a meet and greet, where we bring together police officers and the neighborhood residents and those who are engaged in block watches and just watching out their neighbor, tears down those walls of distrust. That to me is an exciting form of where art can transform community.
Weed and seed is, you know, they weed out the crime and seed in with good programs. And so it's a comprehensive approach. To just move in and bust the drug houses is only half of the trick. So you bust the drug houses and you leave what to replace it? It was unique in the sense that trying to just get rid of crime is ineffective in itself. So they move in with the police force, and yes, they bust a lot of drug houses and so forth, but they also seed in with good elements, like the signs, the trees. That's the budget that we got to get those signs. It was our committee, the Revitalization Committee, that helped coordinate those funds that went through to find the seed programs that we did. We put signs up in the neighborhood, so at every street intersection was a Garfield neighborhood sign. So that when you came into the neighborhood, you saw it. Those signs kind of reflected off of the design of the bulletin boards that we had done previously to help, again, the imageability of the neighborhood and the sense of pride. It started as a grant program, but as you get familiar with it, it's really just an approach, a philosophy that you have to take this holistically and comprehensively.
It is a historic neighborhood. It's got architecturally interesting houses and many styles which are almost unique in the Phoenix area. People are drawn to that history and that culture that is not easy to find in a lot of the greater Phoenix area. At this point, I wouldn't hesitate to say that this is really actually a pretty nice place to live. Because I started showing up reliably to meetings, I got recruited into the organization from there and spent the last 3 years serving as a board member at large and I guess focusing a lot on law enforcement issues and sort of relations with law enforcement and residents in the neighborhood, trying to not lose touch of the people that have been here and fought the hard fight and that sort of thing, but also make sure that we're serving the residents in a way that's relevant.
Neighborhood Housing Services of Phoenix is a local not-for-profit organization. It's chartered under a national network called NeighborWorks America. We were established in 1975, 35 years ago, to help with the neighborhood revitalization efforts, primarily here in the city of Phoenix. Since then, we have expanded our area to cover Maricopa County. So our programs essentially cover 3 areas. We teach, we build, and we lend. We have built new construction in target neighborhoods, like Garfield is one of them. It's actually one of the first neighborhoods where we started to build new construction. There was vacant lots and no builder market wasn't taking care of that. So the organization decided to, in the early 90s, to build new construction, and in partnership with the city of Phoenix, we have been able to build approximately 50 homes in the last 15 years. Most recently, we conducted a survey of the residents to have a better understanding of what other needs the residents may have, and we are finding out that a lot of the residents in Garfield have been renting for many years. So for us, that's an opportunity of potentially people becoming homeowners. The level of happiness, the level of satisfaction between renters and homeowners in Garfield is equal, and we were surprised to find out that information from the survey that we conducted.
University Public Schools started as an initiative out of Arizona State University, and it was one of the initiatives of social embeddedness out of the President's office. So I was actually part of the initial team who began the initiative and brought it to fruition by opening our first school, which was Polytechnic Elementary School near the Polytechnic ASU campus. So the original mission of the initiative was to create and open schools on or near each of the 4 ASU campuses. So our first one was Polytech Elementary School, and our second one is here, University Public School Phoenix, near the downtown campus. So we use a lot of critical thinking skills, problem solving, a lot of hands-on approach to learning. But the majority of our students originate here from downtown Phoenix, many of them from the Garfield neighborhood, since we sit within the Garfield neighborhood. They're community. They are a community that works together. There are people who have lived in the community for generations and that's a strength. And so they use that community to bring others in, to basically form that community to work together.
I'm really working hard to see that maybe we can make this neighborhood into a neighborhood where we can all live like one family, help each other, and care about each other.
She was an incredible woman.
She was sharp. She could call a spade a spade.
Like, she was strict. She's got like the Garfield Organization. She did a lot of stuff to really boost this community up, clean up this area and everything like that.
But she was a very sweet, she was everyone's nana. She was sweet, she was endearing. Lupe was, you know, over the years of working with her, she became such a sweetheart. She would call up. I mean, I don't know why, but all at once on Thanksgiving, on Christmas Day, she would call up and say, "I've got your Christmas dinner."
There was a bit of humor about her, but she was inventive in terms of getting things done.
She was hard to replace. In fact, they have never replaced her.
But she would call me up when she was done with the wedding cake, say, "You want to see it before we come deliver it?" So I'd come over and go, "Oh yeah, that looks great, and yeah, well, this is nice," you know, and admire it. And it was a thing that we shared. And you know, in the beginning years, when Lupe started, she said, "I don't know anything about building a neighborhood, but I know how to bake a cake." And so she would often bring cakes to every event.
She was really well respected, you know, by everybody, which was an awesome thing. So, but yeah, she'd be one of those grandmas that would go out and do things for anybody. She was a great baker, and she'd make cookies for, you know, kids just walking down the street, stuff like that. So I remember we always used to walk home from school, just stop by Grandma's house and, you know, get some cookies or whatever, and, you know, that's kind of person she was. So very willing to help.
I think everyone wants to live in a safe, clean, friendly neighborhood.
The neighborhood association here in Garfield is a fairly strong neighborhood association.
Yeah, started really cleaning this neighborhood up. It's a lot better than what it was before.
So we were able to keep the momentum going the right direction in terms of improving the neighborhood.
But they've always had the people with their best interests in mind for the community.
It's amazing how people can feel the texture of what's going on in their neighborhood. You know, it's different when you don't have those walls there.
Well, I gained a lot from the community, and I hope the community has gained something from me.